Hello, hello, and welcome back to All Things Podcasting. If you are tired of the social media hustle, then this episode is for you. We are going to be breaking down how you can use your podcast to replace all of the social media content that you have been making. Now, I'm not saying that we are going to completely say goodbye to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of the places. We're going to make it so much easier for you to show up everywhere with as little effort and as little brain power from you as possible. So, the thing that really sets what we do apart from your run of the mill podcast editor, podcast manager is that we look at the whole strategy of your podcast. We're not just focusing on, is the flow of the episode good? Is the editing good? Is the sound quality good? While all of those things are important, those are not the things that are going to create a podcast that propels your business to the next level. We want to make sure that your podcast is part of your funnel, a big part of your funnel. We want to make sure that your podcast is being milked for all that it's worth. So we do this through our 360 podcast promotion strategy. And this podcast promotion strategy has allowed the majority of our clients to say goodbye to the social media hustle and burnout, which I know at this point we are all totally over. So, what can you turn your podcast into? From one podcast episode, you can create an SEO rich blog post, you can create a YouTube video, LinkedIn post, Facebook and Instagram post, Facebook and Instagram stories, reels, TikToks, pins for Pinterest. You can do lives based on your podcast episode and so much more. You can create 25 plus pieces of content for all of the platforms based on your one podcast episode. Creating this one podcast episode gives you an outlet for all of your ideas, all of your thoughts that you have around one category. I interrupt this podcast episode to bring you a quick ad for our Podcast Accelerator membership. If you're ready to magnetize and monetize your podcast, then the Podcast Accelerator membership is right for you. It contains everything that you or your VA need to know in order to promote and profit from your podcast. It includes things like graphic templates, caption templates, and how-to videos for things like audiograms, videograms, quote graphics, static graphics, IGTV, and SEO-rich blog posts. It includes a promotional strategy roadmap of what to post, when, where, and why, templates and videos for planning podcast episodes that are optimized for action, descriptions and show note templates for YouTube and podcasting, accountability for creating and publishing content, strategies and templates for monetizing your podcast, a private Facebook group for members only for them to connect and ask questions. This membership is everything that you need to grow and monetize your podcast. We are even going to do bonus trainings like how to get guest spots on podcasts, how to get guests on your podcast, and other fun things. Basically, if you ask for it, we'll deliver. All of the templates allow you to really streamline your podcast marketing so that you can get as much content as possible out of your podcast, but also not spend hours creating it. Check out the show description for a link to the membership. So, when you're planning your podcast episodes, we work from pillars. So we have all of our clients create their first 3 pillars, and those are like kind of the top 3 things that they want to talk about, or the top 3 transformations that people see through working with them. Then we kind of break those things down into little micro categories. So through their podcast episode for 30 minutes, they're going to brain dump, tell you everything that they have about this micro category. So it allows them to get all that information out, have it all in one place. And then when you transcribe the episode, you have all this written content that you can then take and repurpose into captions for your social posts. You can repurpose into a blog post. And if you're recording with video on, like I'm doing right now, then you can also take the video from while you're recording your podcast and put it on YouTube. Like, how easy is that? It eliminates the need to constantly be thinking, oh my God, what am I going to post today? I can't come up with another idea. I'm so over this. It allows you to just streamline that process. It really allows you to create a system for your marketing instead of having just like swipe files of, I could do a post kind of like this, or I could do something like that. It allows you to just have one streamlined strategy that's super systematized that you're just going to go through your podcast episode. You're going to record it, and then you're going to go through and check off these boxes. Here's the TikTok I'm going to do talking about the episode. Here's the TikTok I'm going to do asking if anybody has questions about the episode. Here's the TikTok I'm going to do pulling an audio clip. Here's the TikTok I'm going to do pulling a video clip. And so you're just going to repeat this process. It makes it so simple. You have a checklist each week. I recorded the podcast. Here's all the things that I'm going to pull from it, turn into all these social media assets so that you can show up everywhere. Your people are everywhere online. You might feel like they're more on Facebook or they're more on Instagram, and that's great. But the truth is that your people are everywhere online and you need to be showing up for them. And I get that is a lot of pressure and a lot of work, and it's very overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, I cannot manage TikTok and a blog and all of this. But when you have one piece of content where you're literally taking 30 minutes and recording an episode, and then that one piece of content is able to be converted into all these other things for you so that you don't have to stress about it. You have your full, cohesive, consistent marketing strategy out there. It makes life so much easier, and your people are able to find you and they're able to binge your content, and you are everywhere. I know everybody's heard that saying of like, it takes 7 touch points for somebody to want to invest with you. So they have to see your content 7 times. And if you're there on Facebook, like they might see 7 posts from you, but like you're really depending on the algorithm to get in front of them. But if you're everywhere, if you have a podcast that they're tuning into every week, if they like the podcast so much that they also want to check it out on YouTube, if they want to read the blog post about it, if they're getting an email from you about the podcast, if they're seeing you post on Facebook and Instagram, if they're pinning your stuff on Pinterest to save for later so they don't forget, they're tuning into your lives to get their questions answered about what happened on the podcast. They want to know more information, and you're there to give that to them. So we really want to make this cohesive strategy that allows people to engage with you, to feel like you're part of their lives, to feel like you're invested in them as much as they're invested in you. And I don't want anybody to feel stressed or overwhelmed by the number of posts or anything like that. So, of course, we offer this as a one-on-one done for you service, but also through the membership, we teach all of our members how to do this super easy so that they can go through each week, have all of the templates ready to go. They don't have to stress about creating new stuff in Canva or what to post when or where. We have it all laid out for them. So it's super plug and play, super easy. So through this strategy, we're able to create impact, reach, and revenue that runs as a machine for our clients. So within just 30 days of our clients launching and using the strategy for their podcast, they're able to replace things like spending money on Facebook and Instagram ads, spending a ton of money on marketing strategists, social media managers, all of these things that are, you feel like you're supposed to do, like you have to do, but you're not really seeing them move the needle forward. We save them so much time because the strategy streamlines everything so that they're not like constantly thinking, what am I going to post? Where am I going to get this information? Oh my gosh, I have to go into Canva again. And we take the focus off of topping the charts because topping the charts is not going to get you anywhere. When people top the charts, it's usually because they have paid for listeners or whatever. It's a hot mess. But we focus on building long-term sustainable growth through this marketing strategy so that you have your people, not just people, but your people listening so that throughout the podcast, throughout your funnel, they are ready to invest in you. So if you want to stop the content creation struggle and have an endless supply of high converting leads through podcasting, this is a strategy that you need to implement in your business. I want you guys to hop into my DMs on Facebook or Instagram because I know you all are going to have questions about this. So hop into my DMs, ask me all the questions. We might even do like a follow-up episode answering your all's questions on the podcast, but I'll definitely get back to you guys through DM. And you can, of course, always join us inside the All Things Podcasting Facebook group where we break these things down more and do lives answering your questions. It's a great place to get information. So I hope to see you either in the Facebook group or in my messenger or both. All right. Have a great week.